All right, peace and Black Power family. Once again, it's the African Empowerment Network. We're here with a young king today. I'm gonna let him introduce himself and tell y'all what it is that we're gonna be talking about today.
Alright, how's everybody doing? My name is Terrance Gilliam. I'm a real estate agent with Exit Dream Team Realty. And today we'll just be talking about, some basic topics in the real estate industry and just answering any questions, that the people may have.
All right, with Dream Team Realty, how long have you been into it?
I've been in the real estate since August 2015. Got my license exactly on August 7th, 2015, and been with Exit Realty since then.
For you to get your license, what was that process like, and how long did it take?
Well, first I had to go to real estate school. So I started school. It was a 5-week course that started in like late June, and then I finished late July. And during the process, like I had to go to night school since I work full time. So they have classes where you can take a week class, for 5 days straight, and you have to take 63 hours. So to actually pursue to take the test, you have to pass the class, which is a 63-hour class.
Um, what's some of the basic things you learned that you could share with the people from you getting your licenses and everything, if they want to be familiar with it or get started in the real estate?
Well, to get started, like I said, first you have to take the course. Next thing after that is actually taking the test and signing up for the test. And once you pass the test, then you're licensed. And then after you're licensed, then you can you're free to go interview brokers yourself. So it's not like a typical job interview. You're actually interviewing the broker, because when you're a real estate agent, you're actually a self-contractor. So you're actually interviewing the broker to see, how the relationship is going to be between you two. So, that's something that you can definitely keep in mind.
With the interview process, what's some of the terminology or lingo that they use that some of the normal people wouldn't really be accustomed to?
Really, it's not too much terminology that they throw at you,
Okay.
so that you understand. Basically, it's really like a vibe thing, just trying to get a good vibe for that person, because you're gonna be working, working with that person, for however many years that you plan to work with that person. So you want to make sure first and foremost that there's a good vibe there, and that's what I got when I interviewed with my broker. They're just good people who, I felt like they really wanted to help me. And also the good thing too about my company is that, it's smaller than the Michael Saunders or the Coldwell Bankers or the Keller Williams. It's really, it has like a real family feel to it.
More close knit
Yeah,
because
more
it's a
close-knit.
small.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we kind of call it like a boutique, of the real estate industry. So.
A lot of people are kind of skeptical about getting into real estate. What would you say got you into real estate or pushed you down that path?
I just think curiosity and just wanted to grow as a person and grow in my career. I wanted a sense of ownership, and I have a business background. I have a bachelor's in business administration, so I've always been business oriented. So going out and getting into real estate, something that intrigued me a few years ago actually, but I just never pursued it. I think one of the questions someone may have is that like how much does it cost to get into the industry or to even start. I would say it is an investment, so it does. You definitely have to put some money aside, save, to actually get started. But real estate is it's a passion of mine, that I developed since my time being in it.
You say it's an investment. I call it a small investment. It's investing in your career.
Definitely.
With the investments that you made so far, would you say it's been worth it?
Oh, definitely. I think it's been worth it. Like I said, like networking, meeting people, that's something that I enjoy. And that's something I actually had to develop into over the years. So meeting new people and just expanding and learning, that's something that I enjoy. you know, learning from others who know more than me. You know, I try to surround myself with people who know more than I do. So I think that's something that everybody should take into account.
How important do you say the company that you keep around you has as far as the influence on whether you successful or you stagnant or you just a failure?
Oh man, it's huge. It's everything. Because you know, as humans, man, we're it's natural for us to I don't want to say follow, but to be influenced by the actions of people around us. You know, like if we're hanging out with people who doing bad things, you know, there's a higher chance that we're gonna follow the actions of those people as doing those things, because that's what we see and that's what we know. So if you surround yourself with positive people who trying to do something for themselves, you know, you're only gonna want to follow, and you're gonna get that itch to do the same thing that they're doing.
Right, you're more likely to do the same thing that they doing. That's what you're around.
Exactly.
All right. Some of the things or questions that the people want to know. What does it take? Well, you kind of already explained. What does it take? When you get started when you got started with real estate, did you look at it as a quick hustle, or was it something that you were thinking about for a long time and you got big plans for? What do you see in the future coming from you being in real estate?
Yeah, oh no, I definitely didn't see it as a quick fix. But before I even took the class, I did my research on how to get started, what's it gonna take to get started in real estate, and I knew a few people who are already in real estate, so I went to them, I asked them questions, on what to expect going into it, and they definitely gave me some really good advice, that I took into consideration, and that's something that I definitely still keep with me.
Mind passing on some of that advice, a few tips for potential home buyers?
Yeah, for sure. I think something, it'll first, if somebody's going to go into, thinking about going into real estate, I think you definitely got to have patience. You definitely you got to be dedicated. You got to be driven. It's definitely a business. It's a business. It's just not a hobby. Like, it's a business that you have to put time into. Some of the biggest businesses in the world, they got resources that they have, and time that they and effort that they put their time into. So that's some of the advice that I got. Like I said, being patient, and it's gonna be tough. Like, real estate is a tough business. I'm finding that out in my short time being in it. So you're gonna have those ups and downs that you got to get through it.
Right. That was leading into my next question. With those ups and downs, what's some of the eye-opening moments you had through the time in real estate?
Some of the eye-opening moments, I would say, just to give a little example, I would say real estate is a commission-based business. So, you don't get paid until you close, and you may have a deal in place, but you may have an offer from, if you're selling a home, you get an offer from a potential buyer. Like, just because you have an offer on the table doesn't mean that you're going to get paid. So, working on commission, that's something that I've got to get accustomed to. Luckily I have another job, a full-time job, to help me supplement my income.
Right.
But if I didn't have that job, working just basically strictly off income, off commission, it's something that you definitely got to get accustomed to. And I kind of experienced a situation where before closing, 30 minutes before one of my closings was gonna go through, they basically there was a big discrepancy in something that came up, which halted the deal, and we couldn't sign at the scheduled time. We ended up signing the papers later that day, and things kind of got pushed back. But that's something that I learned, that like I said, you don't get paid until the deal is completely done. So that's something to keep in mind if you're gonna pursue a license.
All right. I got another question from the people. Is it true that you have to have a lot of money to get started in real estate?
You don't have to have a lot of money. I'm someone who definitely don't have a lot of money. So and I pursued it.
Not yet though. That's future Mr. Bankroll, people.
Yeah, for sure. You definitely want to save some money. The school, for instance, I just kind of give I guess a rough estimate. To actually start, the school I went to was the school was $340. There's a fingerprinting process that you have to go through, which was $63. There's the state application, which is $90. And then the actual test is about $30. Those are the things that before actually getting the license, those are some of the expenses that you'll incur. And after getting the license, then you have to sign up. So you have to find a broker that you're gonna sign with, and then some brokers have some brokers have like office fees, desk fees, or some just have dues that you have to pay, like an annual fee that you have to pay.
You mentioned the class too before you take a test. What's the schedule like for that class? How long are the classes?
I kind of touched on it before, but if you're gonna do the day class, it's only 1 week. Mm-hmm. So it's usually, I think it's from 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 when they did those classes. And then if you're doing a night class like I did it from 6 to 10, so 6 p.m. to 10 p.m.
And where could you go to register for the classes?
The class I went to was Ed Koffler, Ed Koffler, ED, Koffler, Klopfer. It's a school out on Calderman Road, and man, it really was a great school. I had a good instructor. He definitely kept the class entertaining, and I learned a lot. And some of the things I learned in class, like we really do use, in the business.
What would you say would be one of the most important things you learned going through the classes and being in the field a little bit already? What's one of the most important things you learned?
I think one of the important things is that we learned in the class, like in the actual class, like we learned more about the laws and regulations of the business. So I think definitely paying attention to the laws, because the laws can get you in trouble, like different fees, like and fines, like if you if you commit an infraction, it could be fines and fees, jail time, depending on the type of infraction that you commit. So
these ain't no cheap infractions. They're pretty pricey.
Not at all. They gonna hit you wildly.
Wiping out salaries with the price.
Like, we know you're a real estate agent, so we gonna get you.
You mentioned the up and downs earlier. What's one of the more difficult things you've had to overcome to get to the level where you're at right now?
I think one of the most difficult things that I was overcome, I think time, really. By me having a full-time job, also, I think it's something that that's keeping me from, I guess, my full potential. Mm-hmm. I think with anything, the more time and effort you put into something, the better results you're gonna get. So I think that that's my main obstacle right now is time. And but I'm making the most of it when I do. I'm grinding and doing what I can when I do have the time to put the work in.
And definitely see the results here in front of the camera today.
Right,
so
right.
You're definitely doing this thing out there. With you being in real estate, you got some of the property, or where would some of the property that you have currently be located, or you sold anything?
Yeah, so I had two closings in January. One house that I sold was in Bradenton, in the Briarwood community. A home that we sold for $235,000. And then another home I sold was in Sarasota, in Lorraine Park, and we sold that for $109,000. And right now, in the process of trying to close another listing right now. So trying to get the agreement signed with a potential seller. So that's another thing too. Even in trying to get a seller, there's some things that you have to work on in actually getting the contract signed, because you can't list the house until you actually get the person to sign. So that's something to think about too if you're going to be going into the business. So nothing is really set in stone until you get the ink on the paper.
What would you say are some of the skills required to help you closing the deal?
Some of the skills, I think, just being persistent, being organized, because there's gonna be this, and communication. Definitely, communication is probably the biggest skill that you have to have. Being in communication with if you're on the seller side, being in touch with your seller, letting them know any offers that's coming in. You have to let them know. So you got to be in contact with them. If you're working with a buyer, you have to be in touch with them. If you find any potential homes for them, you have to let them know what you see. If they want to put an offer in, you have to be available to put the offer in to the seller. And then if you're working with the other agent, you have to be in constant communication, because there can be contingencies and things that come up in which you guys have to hash out those issues. So it's constant communication is definitely the skill to getting the deal closed.
And on the other side of that, what would be some of the things that you could do, probably unconsciously, that run away the deal or stop you from closing the deal?
Again, communication. But I think not taking the job seriously. I think that's something that could hinder a deal. If you just being lazy and just not putting in the effort, that can definitely run somebody off, because you got to think of it in a way that you got to take it serious, because these are a home is one of the most important purchases the person is going to make. So if you're not putting the full effort in to making sure that you're finding the best home for your client, then they're gonna see that, and they're not gonna feel that feel that you're doing the best job that you can. So that can definitely cut a deal.
All right. What would you say personally has been your greatest area of improvement since you started real estate?
I think my greatest area of improvement, I think, just being knowledgeable, just gaining knowledge and learning. I'm always trying to learn, like I said, from people who know more than me. And my broker, he's been someone that I can talk to anytime I have a question. I've been able to ask him. So I think just gaining knowledge, about the market, and information about different loans, or just being able to know about the values of property. So just gaining more knowledge.
All right, we're gonna get into the section where you'll probably be able to run off a little more. You touch bases on the process of purchasing a house.
So basically, the process of purchasing a house starts with, contacting a realtor, and basically, letting that realtor know what it is exactly that you're looking for. So the number of bedrooms, bathroom, square footage, the particular square footage you're looking for, a certain type of area. So that's when you would talk with your realtor in that initial meeting that you set up. So you talk with them, and then getting pre-approved for actual mortgage. That's something that is the next step, because you want to get a pre-approval so that you know how much money you have to spend, because that's very important. That's probably one of the most important things in the beginning. Know how much money you're going to be able to spend, and then from there, just talking with your realtor, them finding the homes, and them getting back to you. So picking out the homes, and going through the approval process. When you get the pre-approval, and then you go through and you get your final approval. So in that instance, you'll be working with the mortgage company. All right. So you're working with the mortgage company, and you'll be you shop for a lender. So a lender, there's different types of lenders, and they have different rates and different ways that they work. So it's just all about finding what's a good fit for you. So that's the next step in the process. And going through, it could be a long process. So just making sure that your agent is constantly looking for homes, and just touching base with you. And then once you do find that home that you like, you put an offer in. And if there's any negotiation that needs to go on with the price or any contingencies, anything that you don't like with the house, after an inspection, you get the inspection, and then after that you get an appraisal, and then once the appraisal comes in, that's where you basically that's pretty much like the final thing that has to go through to making sure that the deal can actually close. And then once the appraisal goes through, then you have your closing, sign the papers, and then you're off in your new home.
With the pricing you mentioned, how do they usually come up with the price, the value of the property?
So the value of a property basically comes up where we take comparables of the home. So we first look up the property, and then you look up the property value or the market value of the home. And then you take any comparable homes that have the same bedrooms, same bathrooms, the square footage, if it has a garage or not. Those are some of the more common features that are compared when you're comparing the price of a house. So, like I said, we find a property, look up the market value, and then we can look up any homes that are similar with those same features, those similar features. We look up any homes that have been sold in the last 6 months to a year. And then we also look at homes that are currently active on the market with those same features. And basically, a home is priced based on you can take the average, or you can take the mean number. The median number, however you feel most comfortable. With finding that number. That's pretty much how a value of a property is priced.
All right. For the people who looking to purchase property and they don't necessarily have the funds initially, are there any loans or programs out there that help the people out in purchasing property?
Yeah, there are three common loans that people obtain. One of the more common loans is a FHA loan, and with the FHA loan, this is a loan that is less strict than a conventional loan, which is basically the other common type of loan. So FHA loan, you usually only have to put down 3.5%, and there are strict requirements that you have to meet with the FHA loan. There could, and one of the other things is that the closing costs, you can incur low closing costs. So that's also a reason why people, get an FHA loan. And usually with the credit score for FHA loan, you at least want to have at least, I guess, say like a 580. That's like a respectable credit score. So of course, anything around 6, that's good also, as a minimum. And then with a conventional loan, this is the more stricter, of the two. With the conventional loan, if you're able to put down at least 20%, you won't have to get any more mortgage insurance. So that's something that attracts people as well. And for this loan, you can put down as low as 3% for a down payment. And these loans are used if you want to purchase, your primary residence, or if you're looking for a second home or a rental property. So that's one of the other loans. And then VA loan is a loan that is offered to veterans who have served in the military or who are serving in the military. And in some cases, even the spouses of deceased military veterans can receive this loan. And the main benefit of this loan is that you don't have to make a down payment. So that's one of the things that people look for when they're trying to get a VA loan. They don't have to put down a down payment. So that can be very beneficial on the back end, when you're actually trying to close on the deal.
All right. That's pretty much All I got to touch base. Oh no, I got one last question for you. This a question from myself. Me myself, or anybody who was thinking the same. If I wanted to purchase property, as far as to try and set up something for low income houses to help in families, what would I have to go through, or what would be necessary for me to get that accomplished?
Pretty much, the same process. Like I said, like if you're gonna get by a primary residence, or if you're gonna buy a second home to actually invest in, it's pretty much the same process. That you would do in getting the primary residence. You want to make sure that you have your funds in order. And this is for anybody trying to get a home, first time home buyer, investor. You want to make sure that your credit is good. You have money in the bank. Because those are some of the things that lenders look at when they're trying to approve you for a loan. You have to make sure your debt to income ratio is good. You have to make sure that there's money that's going in and out of your account. They pay attention to that. So they just want to see consistency. Because they're going to be giving you money, so giving you loans. So they want to make sure that basically their investment is a good investment also.
Right.
So that's just some things to keep in mind.
All right, man. Thank you for everything you presented. I appreciate your time. Glad to have you on the network.
Thank you.
Getting ready to wrap it up. Got any closing remarks, word of advice, or plugs where the people can find you to contact you?
Words of advice. Well, for people who's thinking about getting into the industry, I would say definitely take it serious. It's an investment. Like I said, it's an investment. It's going to cost you money, so you want to make sure that you're making good on your investment. So I would say definitely take it seriously. And for homeowners or potential home buyers, I would just say, don't let the fear of rejection hold you back for at least trying to see what's out there. Some people are afraid to see what their credit score is, or afraid to see what happens if I just inquire about trying to start the process to buy a home. So I just think that you won't know where you're at until you go out and find out. So I would say that definitely at least try to go out there and get the process started. And as far as finding me, you can find me on Facebook. My Facebook business page, TG Sarasota Homes. Instagram is TG_Sarasota Homes. And you can find also you can check out my website, tgsarasotahomes.com.
All right, family. Peace and Black Power. Once again, it's the African Empowerment Network, and we out till next time. Peace.